So, in the last few days, Washington has witnessed a series of diplomatic engagements that are perhaps more symbolic than substantive, what we might call non talking talks. And these discussions, including those involving Ukrainian President Zelenskyy, seem to mark a holding pattern in international diplomacy as all eyes turn towards the upcoming United Nations General Assembly meeting in New York in 2 weeks' time. Zelenskyy's message, delivered with urgency, is clear. Ukraine needs more defensive and offensive weapons to counter Russia's continued aggression and the possibility of a change of leadership in America with, as Vance points out, a peace plan which largely gives Putin exactly what he wants. Specifically, Zelenskyy has highlighted the critical need for advanced air defense systems like the Patriot system. The Patriot missile defense system, first developed by Raytheon, has become a cornerstone of Ukraine's air defense strategy and designed to intercept ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and other air threats. It offers Kyiv a technological advantage in countering Russian missile attacks, including the highly advanced Kh-47 Kinzhal hypersonic missiles. And reports from Ukrainian officials and military analysts suggest the system has actually successfully intercepted the Russian missiles, a feat which was considered impossible at the outset of the conflict. And this has elevated the Patriot system's status as a key asset in Ukraine's arsenal. However, the effectiveness of the Patriot system is both a military reality and a geopolitical image. And while Ukrainian forces tout its success in intercepting high-speed, high-altitude missiles, Russian and other global media outlets, particularly in India, have raised concerns about the system's vulnerability. There have been reports, potentially propaganda reports, suggesting that Russian missiles have managed to attack and damage Patriot systems in the ground in Ukraine. And the imagery of a supposedly weakened Patriot system in Indian news could be part of a broader narrative, with Russia seeking to undermine Western technological superiority. And such claims are unverified, but they feed into a larger disinformation campaign aimed at casting doubt on the West's military support for Ukraine. The implications of these claims are significant. The Patriot system, heralded as a symbol of NATO's advanced missile defense, represents more than just hardware. It's emblematic of a broader Western commitment to Ukraine. And should these claims of vulnerability prove credible, they would undermine not only Ukraine's defense posture, but also the broader NATO narrative of technological supremacy. On the other hand, if these reports are dismissed as propaganda, they serve to rally further support for Ukraine, solidifying its position as a crucial theatre for testing and proving Western military capabilities. The Patriot system itself is a marvel of modern warfare, with over 1,400 flight tests and continual upgrades, making it one of the more reliable air defense systems globally. Its modular architecture allows it to adapt to new threats such as hypersonic missiles, and its interoperability across 19 nations makes it a collective security tool. However, the system's limitations, its high cost, its complex operation, and the finite number of interceptors pose challenges for Ukraine. Each Patriot battery costs approximately $1 billion, with individual missiles costing over $4 million, and the manpower needed to operate them a significant number. So Zelenskyy's calls for additional defensive systems, particularly more Patriot batteries, underscores the need for sustained Western support. And the US has already sent 2 Patriot systems to Ukraine, with Germany committing additional units. But it's no good simply to commit the rhetoric without the reality following. The demand for these defense systems outstrips the supply, and Zelenskyy has asked for as many as 50 Patriot systems to safeguard Ukrainian infrastructure and military positions, a request that reveals both the gravity of Ukraine's situation and the limitations of Western military aid. And it's the defensive thing which I think probably is more important than the offensive stuff. As Ukraine presses forward with its counter-offensive, the dual role of the Patriot system, both as a practical tool of defense and a symbol of Western resolve, will continue to shape the narrative of the war. And the next phase of diplomatic discussions in New York may offer more clarity, but until then, the non-talking talks in Washington serve as a reminder that this conflict is as much about the strategic patience of the players as it is about the immediate military victors. The imagery of the Patriot system, whether portrayed as indomitable or vulnerable, will continue to be a focal point in this complex theatre of war.